Hi everybody, this is Judy at Judi in the Kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to blanch broccoli so you can freeze it, dehydrate it, or just eat it lightly cooked. Now the first thing you want to do is wash your broccoli really well. And so I have some broccoli here. I'm going to take this to the sink and wash it, and then we'll go to the cutting board. Okay, you can see I have a couple really nice pieces of broccoli here. And the long stems have been cut off. Now this is the way I bought them. I actually like the stems, but to me, I'm buying the broccoli crowns now just to make life a little bit easier. But anyway, if you do have some with the stems are perfectly fine to eat. There's nothing wrong with them. Don't throw them out. It's good food. All you need to do, if you have the stems, when you cut them, they're a little bit woody on the outside. You can take a paring knife, or you can take a vegetable peeler and just peel some of that woodiness off, and then what you get underneath is this beautiful pale green stem that is absolutely delicious. There's nothing wrong with it. But anyway, I don't have that. So what we want to do is cut these into the size pieces that you intend to use, that you want. If you're cutting the stem or anything big like this, you want it to be in approximately 1/2-inch pieces at the most. Okay, you can cut it down from there, but I'm just going to go along and do 1/2-inch slices on this. And actually, I think I want to cut them down a little bit beyond that. I'm just going to cut them in half. And what I'm preparing you for here is freezing these pieces, or dehydrating them, or just eating them when they are lightly cooked. And actually, that's my actual intention, is we like broccoli in our salads, but I found that I actually prefer it to be blanched when I put it in my salad versus raw. There's nothing wrong with eating it raw. Raw is good, but I actually prefer it this way. And so now when you get to the florets, you want them to be no more than 1.5 inches big or thick. You know, so this might be a little bit more than 1.5 inches long. Not much more if it is, but you see it's not a thick piece. And so that is the intention, is you want these to be able to be blanched and with our boiling water, and to be able to cook through in a brief amount of time. So as soon as I get these cut up, I'll show you what we have, and I'll tell you where we go from there. Now before I finish and go to the stove, I wanted to give you a little tip that I've got on how to cut the floret if you want to cut it down some without having a mess of the top of it all over the place. If you wanted to split something like this, I just take my knife and put it in the stem part. I don't just cut it all the way through. I just put it in the stem and separate it. And that helps to keep the top of it intact without you having the little tiny things all over the place. See, I'm just cutting into the stem and then separating it. Let's do it again. Okay, get those 3 pieces out, and we're just going to cut into the stem as much as we can and then separate it, and it helps to keep that intact. Easy to do, and it just keeps it neater while you're cutting this without making quite as much of a mess as it could be. Just like that. And I'm going to cut this one down just a little bit, just the stem, break it apart, and there we go. All right, off to the stove. All right, we're at the stove, and I have a big pot of water coming to a boil. It's not quite there yet. What I have here is a bowl full of ice water, and when that water comes to a boil, we're going to put the broccoli in there and immediately set the timer for 3 minutes. Okay, we want it to boil and be in that boiling hot water for 3 minutes. And then I'm going to take this and scoop the broccoli out of there and immediately put it in the ice water bath. And then we're going to leave it in there for 3 minutes. The premise is you cool it down quickly as for the length of time that you had it in the boiling water, okay? And the purpose of all this is to stop the enzyme activity so that when the food is in the freezer, it will not continue to age, okay? And again, this blanching process is important if you're freezing the vegetable, if you're going to dehydrate the vegetable, and sometimes we just don't want it overly cooked when we eat it, and so we can do this as well. Now, if you are going to eat the broccoli right away for your meal, you certainly don't need to put it in a cold water bath because you're going to consume it right away. However, if let's say you want to do what I'm doing with it, I like to put it in my salads, but I like it just blanched. I will put it in the ice water bath for 3 minutes before I take it out and drain it, and then I'm going to pack it and put it in the refrigerator so that when I make my salads, I could just take a big scoop of broccoli and put it in there, and it will be just barely cooked and just the way we like it. So if you want to hold it in the refrigerator that way, I would suggest the cold water bath, okay? And I'll get back with you when this process is finished. Our broccoli has been blanched and cooled down, and you can see it's in the colander. It is draining and it looks beautiful. I wanted you to see this because the color of blanched vegetables is so brilliant and so beautiful, and it's so inviting to eat. And I want you to see that there is still crispness to it. I can put the fork through it, but it is still crisp, tender. So yes, they can be eaten like this if you want to eat them like this. If you like your broccoli a little bit on the crispy side, it is good this way. And this is the way we like it, cold in a salad. It's ready now to be frozen. You would label your freezer bag with the date, and of course it's obvious what it is. And then just get as much air out of the bag as you can and put it in the freezer. If you want to dehydrate them, they're ready to be dried. Just put out on your dehydrator trays and follow the manufacturer's instructions for your time and temperature on dehydrating them. And so I'm going to just have these in the refrigerator, and we're going to eat them along with our salads just like they are. And to us, this is the preferred way to have them. I hope this answers your questions on how to prepare broccoli for freezing, dehydrating, or just eating barely cooked. Let me know if you need any more information down there in the comments section. I'll be glad to help if I can. This is Judi at Judi in the Kitchen. I hope this helps. Have a great day.